Oh, are there two people here? Oh no, it's just me and you. Nobody's here, Cathy.
Everybody's here.
They are?
Yes.
Why can't I see them? Here comes the best double trill I ever did in my life. Here it comes. Here it comes. There. And I was so excited. At the end, I totally rushed it. You'll hear I'm totally off the orchestra. I'm already starting to rush. Here it comes. So rush. Here it comes. That was supposed to be together. But wait, that applause. Don't turn it off. I miss applause. I miss applause.
Wow.
Like a river.
That's, you just never know. I just never know. I'm so thrilled that my friend Adrian, actually my sister, pretty much, right?
You are my sister, Cathy.
You are my
You are.
sister. Is here, but even though she's my sister, I actually don't know. I don't know a lot,
Well,
which
I
is
don't
so
talk
weird,
about it, Cathy. I don't go around trumpeting about it.
I played with an orchestra, classical piano. Yeah, man, it's
I
just
was actually, I was 17 in that. I was 17.
get out.
I was. That's like a humble brag. So, no, it's not humble, actually. I'm just bragging.
Do
That's just a
you
straight brag.
do you still do that?
Yeah, I still play classical. Yeah, definitely.
Could you actually do that? Like do the whole orchestra
Sure.
thing?
Of course. I mean, I would have to practice. I mean,
Yeah,
the reason why concert artists are concert artists, and the reason why I think the divisions between classical musicians and other types of musicians are the way they are is
yeah,
because in classical, the emphasis is on virtuosity and repertoire, right?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, in jazz, the emphasis is on that as well too. You know,
Hmm.
virtuosity for sure, and then knowing tons of standards or having tons of material under your belt. But with classical, the thing is, you have to remember note for note what somebody else wrote hundreds
Yeah.
of years ago, who's probably dead, unless you're playing a living composer. And it's a lot to keep all that, in your head, especially not to denigrate other instruments, but especially for piano. Just the memorization is crazy because we can play more notes. I mean, a flute is playing one note at a time, but of course, a flute is about, I mean, you're a flute player, it's about your embouchure and intonation. So, I mean, every instrument has its
Yeah.
difficulties. If you want to play a piano, all you have to do is go like this.
Yeah.
but there's more notes. You're reading in two clefs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why classical musicians practice those exorbitant hours, which I did. I mean, I used to practice crazy hours. So if I was going to go and do something like that, yeah, I'd have to go back and be like practicing 6 to 10 hours a day.
When did you start playing piano?
I was, I mean, I was little because my father is a classical guitarist. My
Which we're
mother
going to hear.
played. Huh?
We'll listen to him.
My daddy. So yeah, so my mom played. So I mean, there's pictures of me when I was like two, at the piano bench, singing with my mom. I think I started taking formal lessons when I was probably about 6. We had a really, really good family friend who actually is a concert pianist. She actually she lives in wait, now I'm spacing on the country,
Yeah.
South America.
Oh, okay.
Bolivia. It's not Chile. It's not Argentina. It's not Peru. It's not
I was just going to
Brazil.
say Peru,
Another one.
Venezuela, or
No, it's the one I'm not saying. Anyway, she lives there now, but she taught me when I was little, and then but she was a kid, and then I started more formalized lessons when I was 6, and then I started competing when I was 8. So, and I went that
wow,
the whole.
8 years old.
Yeah, I was little.
What is a comp? I mean, who do you compete with when you're 8?
Other
Other
piano,
8-year-olds, or
other 8-year-olds. Yeah, yeah.
is that it? Is it an
Yeah,
age
it's
thing?
like it's like wrestlers and boxers. You have to be like in your weight class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I think when you get to like junior high and high school, it's a little bit more of a free for all.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So I started. Yeah, the classical music world is very, it may have changed and now, but it's pretty linear. I mean, you do the competition route, and you go to a certain university, you study with a certain teacher, then you start doing bigger competitions, international competitions. They lead to recording deals and performance deals and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very linear path as opposed to, jazz and certainly any kind of, you know,
Pop and
pop
stuff.
or rock or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now the big question.
But
When did you stray?
when did I say, no, that's fine. Yeah, I know I burned out. I can tell you exactly when I was 19.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I was always interested in other things. I was really interested in acting.
Oh,
So
yeah, right.
that split my focus a little bit. I acted in high school, and so then I went to Northwestern, and I went a little bit with an ulterior motive, which was a bit tricky because I
What was the ulterior motive?
switched to the theater department.
Oh, okay, okay.
I knew because I went in for music and I had a piano scholarship,
Oh,
and yeah, it was a little bit of a deal when I switched. They were not psyched, but I still studied with my teacher. It was like a weaning process.
yeah,
David Kaiserman was my teacher, wonderful, amazing person. So yeah, I mean, in a way, I'm glad because I was so sheltered.
yeah.
I mean, when all you do is practice and you've got blinders on and you're gonna, and it's a solo instrument too.
Yeah.
And I did play in orchestras and chamber groups, and I did have that, experience. But it's pretty insulated, and I was pretty shy, and
You were shy?
I'm an introvert. Nobody knows this about me. I'm a gregarious introvert, Kathy.
I can't tell you how many people have told me that you would never even think, that they're introverts. Like people with careers that are,
Yeah, yeah.
very present. And I'm amused by that. I don't know if I think introvert holds this idea that you hold yourself back, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you never hold yourself back.
I mean, the way that I understand it, there are terms that we sort of throw around, introversion and extroversion. The way I sort of understand it, it has more to do with how you get your energy. Do you get your energy from other people, or do you get it by sort of retreating and recharging on your own? And I mean, I think I'm sort of split. It's a little bit silly to, I guess I'm being a little facetious when I put the label on myself, but I am a little bit split. I mean, I'm not having a hard time isolating during the pandemic because
Yeah.
it's sort of natural for me, and the thing is, I have horrible FOMO, terrible, like the worst FOMO ever. So I will like push myself to go out and do this and do that, and it exhausts me. It probably exhausts me more than other people, I think because I need that recharge time by myself, you know. But yeah, no, I am like super outgoing and I'll talk to anyone and
Yeah.
all of that. So I'm not shy anymore. When I was little, I was like shy, like proper shy, you know.
When did you break out?
I don't know. Maybe probably after college, to be honest. It took a long time. Like I had in college, I had like my few like super strong, super close friends, you know, and I had a boyfriend and I was all wrapped up in him. And I think it was later when I really started to, because now I have a ton of friends. I mean, I'm super lucky in that regard. You know, most of my friends are musicians, not all, but a lot. And yeah, so I think it was maybe after college I really started appreciating, you know, the value of friendships. Because again, I was just like stuck in a room all the time, and everything was just so goal oriented. You know, win this, prepare this, have this much,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
memorized by certain date. You know, and so it was really hard for me to just kind of cut loose.
Yeah.
You know,
I can imagine, but frankly it's a little hard because now I've known you for 7, 8 years or something, right?
I think more than that, Kathy, more than that, because I remember when you were doing the jam session at Sportsman's Lodge. I used to
Oh,
come see you, and that was at least 10 years ago.
did you play there?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Maybe you were
Sure
still
I did.
shy.
I'm sure I got up on stage. I
Oh,
don't totally
okay.
remember.
Well, sorry, my brain, only goes back so far
That's
sometimes,
okay. You can say 7 years. That's fine. I love you anyway.
Well, in that case, the jam was like 18 years ago, 19 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that.
But when did you stop doing it?
Oh, well, at the gate. Oh, you didn't come to the Sportsman's Lodge. You're too young. I had it at the Sportsman's Lodge for 7 years. And then I moved around a little bit, like the smokehouse and the gate.
Oh, that's yeah, yeah. That's where
The smokehouse?
I think so. Yeah. Now I'm having a.
That kind of rings a bell with me. So maybe that's true. So Adrian and I now are in a group together called Fish to Birds, which is 7 improvisational vocalists.
Yeah.
And we just have so much fun and love each other, and we're so dying to get back together. Back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely. Well, you know, that group, that's so interesting. Actually, you know what? You were asking me about breaking out of shyness. I can talk about that because that group, honestly, being in that group and doing all the Rhiannon workshops and all that, that helped break me out of my musical shyness because I have musical shyness too. And that group helped break me out of that more than anything. And I think has sort of overall brought my musicianship to a level that it just wouldn't have been. And
Incorporated your acting too.
yeah, well, just kind of everything. Like it just
Yeah.
kind of rolled everything all into one. And I mean, I vividly remember because I mean, when I would have to like solo or start a motor or anything like that, I would just like shut down. I would freeze. And I remember we had that concert at Bar Lubitsch. Remember,
I
we did
remember that. Yep, I remember that gig.
I was in hell the whole time. Literally the whole time. There was a little like devil on my shoulder going, "You suck, you suck, you suck. You're the worst one. You're terrible." Like just this constant terrible. And I was just like, "Shut up, go away." But yeah, so that was a really bad concert, and I was like, "I don't know if I can do this. Should I do this? Should I quit? Am I bringing the group down?" And then we had a rehearsal at Cecily's, and it was time for me to start a motor, and I sort of froze. And you guys, I'm sure I've told you this before, Kathy, you guys like all you put me in a chair and everybody like surrounded me. You made like a little horseshoe and probably like laid hands on me or something. And it literally, and were just so soothing. And I don't remember what we did. You guys were probably humming and shooting good vibes into my body or something like that. But literally, it was a click. It was like I was one way, and then that moment happened, and then I was completely different. And then from that moment on, I was never, even when I knew I was sucking on stage, I was like, this is not good. I didn't care. I did not care. And I was just like, well, I'll change it or pass the ball to somebody else or laugh about it, you know, as opposed to just that constant judgment, which is so debilitating.
Totally.
Yeah.
Actually, let's play the fish to birds thing from the Red Cat.
Yes, Red. Oh my God, that
So
was awesome.
this we Adrian actually facilitated a gig that we got at the Red Cat Theater, which is run by Cal Arts, right?
Yeah, CalArts. It's part of Disney Hall. I love
Yeah.
saying that because we were Disney Hall adjacent.
Or
It's in the
yeah,
same building.
no, it's definitely kind of part of the
Same
hall, I
building,
think.
same parking lot, different entrance, different theater.
Maybe a same wall or something, you know.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's Roy. I think it's endowed by Roy and Edna at Disney. Roy was Walt's brother.
Oh, oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's next to Disney
That's
Hall.
funny.
It's
So
a little one.
that's interesting. Yeah, so this was actually one of our best experiences.
Yeah.
It was 2 nights, and we were part of a show that they do yearly to bring up new talent. And it was a really interesting show. There were spoken word, dancing, singing, playing, very artsy. And the hall held about 300 people, is that right?
Yeah, about. And I think they sold out both nights.
And the audience was absolutely friggin' attentive.
They were insane, right?
Yeah, it would be like us in the audience, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, they were just freaking out. I know we got a standing O. I think we got a standing O both nights, didn't we? Or
Oh
just
yeah. No, no, I think so actually. It was really,
I
really,
get that
really good.
applause. I miss it.
And it was
That's
it
where I'm
was
an
just
extrovert. I'm just like, yes, thank you.
Okay, so here it is.
Kathy, you look hot. Look at you in that yellow dress.
Okay. Woo!
Goes on.
Oh, sorry, I was turning up the.
This is our turn into
I got the sun in the morning and the chocolate at night.
Ashley.
Viva!
Yeah, what a boot. Double butts. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Well done. Go, go, every life gonna
Yes.
have a little trouble. Go, go, everybody gonna have a little pain. Go, go, when you feel that trouble, all you got to do, go, go, all you got to do is get up,
Yeah.
go, go, get up, gotta get up, get on up, 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 every life, gonna have a little trouble, get up, everybody, get up, gonna feel some pain, every time you feel that trouble, what you gotta do, get up, get on up, get up, get on up, get up, get on up,
creeping up to the mic.
I love fried chicken.
Oh man, that was just so much fun, gosh.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that because, it's just actually there's a lot of comments. I do want to look at the comments after this, but
There are comments. There are people watching. I have no feel for this.
oh yeah, yeah,
I can't see
totally.
anything.
You can't see anything because it's on Facebook, but and also
Oh, because
YouTube.
I'm on Zoom. I got it.
Yeah, but it's just so much fun. So for those of you watching and who don't realize it, that is not rehearsed. It's totally made up on the spot. Because actually, a lot of people at that concert afterwards came up and said, "Wow, that was such a great song. Must take you a long time to rehearse or whatever."
That's true.
Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so it's not rehearsed. It's totally made up. And because we've worked together for a long time, we it's like anything. You get used to people doing something like. There's something that Mon does a lot, paka paka paka, because it's from his language, and so we kind of when there's an idea to come in with that, and somebody starts it, we all join in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
He does his jazz chicken.
I love fried chicken. Well, let me look at some of these. You can see these all later, after you can look at the
All
Facebook.
the comments, yeah.
And Ashley's here.
Yay!
Yeah, of course. And let me see. Lots of people. Toby Simmons, Sonny Wilkinson, Roland Askerons. And, Bolivia, Uruguay, Paraguay.
Is it Bolivia? What are the South American countries? Can somebody else help me out?
And Bill Wilk,
Colombia.
Colombia. Yeah.
She's not in Caracas. Oh wait, no, that's Venezuela. Crap. I went to an alternative school. We didn't have geography or grammar.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, my grammar's terrible. History's terrible. Civics awful. I would not pass the U.S. citizenship test. Not even close. I would fail. I'd get kicked out.
So what did you get good at?
We did creative writing. Our creative writing program at our school was insane. It was amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, that was amazing. Language is great. Actually, math and science were great, even though I'm not naturally inclined that way
Yeah.
at all. But yeah, they skipped some stuff.
Bill Wilkeson, he's
Oh,
here.
Bill! Oh my God, Bill! Bill and I, okay, because again, I am like sort of this weird introvert extrovert blend. And again, in my childhood is all this like shyness. Like I was either reading or practicing or, playing with my dollhouse or whatever. And then I became more extroverted later. So Bill directed me in like one of my first shows like ages ago. And then we reconnected on Instagram, actually. I just started Instagram like in May of this year. And then, as you know, my Facebook handle is not even me. It's LA Modern Jazz,
I know.
which is so dumb. It's so because I set it up wrong. My friend Nicholas, he'll never hear me say this about anything else, but Nicholas, you were right. You were right. He told me that I was setting it up wrong. He was like, "You have to set it up as a page, not a person." And I was like, "Whatever." And he was totally right. And so but then my feed was great. And then everybody friended me and I had the coolest feed. And I was like, well, I'm not going to change it now. But then
Yeah, I can see that.
putting myself out there with my own name.
Yeah,
I did Instagram and I love Instagram. Actually, I love it. It's great.
yeah.
It's great. So
Um,
anyway, so now I like it.
yeah. I do like Instagram, but I'm not as consistent on it as other people are.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have somebody actually putting stuff out for me every day, but for me personally, maybe every 4 or 5 days I go, oh, I should put something on Instagram
Right.
or look. This morning, actually, I woke up and looked at it, which was kind of fun. Roland, what is this with noticing the walls? The window shade on your left looks like an eye chart.
Oh, this. No, that's a little hanging ceramic mobile in the window.
Okay, Roland, there you go.
It does look like, he's right though. It kind of does look like a chart.
And Atmara's saying, just a reminder that today is taco night.
Oh, awesome! I'll be there.
Um, yeah, let's
Oh,
see. Joyce Glasgow, the pandemic quarantine is a great way to get over FOMO. Nothing's happening to miss out on. Huh.
right? I know that is
Oh,
the benefits of it.
hello, Roberto Montero.
Oh, Roberto, so awesome!
I love him.
Amazing guitar player, amazing singer. Oh my God, ridiculous.
Gorgeous. And a great teacher, too.
Yes, he is. I
Jay-
subbed for him. Actually, I subbed for him at is it LA? It's one of the music colleges. LACM.
yeah,
I
LA
subbed for
College of
him.
Music.
I subbed for him. So now I have beef with Roberto. So he was like, "Oh, it's so easy. Just no problem. Just go in and play these things and talk to them." And I'm like, "Cool, no problem." Then he sends me like all these charts, and they're all these like Brazilian forms I never heard of. There's one I can't even remember. It starts with an F, I think. It's like a specific Brazilian waltz. I mean, it was fascinating for me because I
Yeah.
was like Google. I mean, I had to like wing them because I was like, I have to go in and be an expert on these Brazilian forms that I don't even know. But it was great, actually. It was great. And I educated myself and I went in and hopefully I did a good job. But,
Well, he didn't throw any tomatoes at you,
no,
so
no. And the kids were great. It was super fun.
yeah. J.D. Davis, Adrian, your improv skills in Fish to Bird, so funny, so in the moment, such a wonderful group. Yes, thank you, J.D.
So fun.
Mon is here. Hi, Mon.
Yay, Mom.
Yeah, Roland likes the Red Cat video. Roland, I don't think you were there.
Hey, Roland, what's up? Why didn't you go?
Uh,
All of our other shows. Why not that one?
and Danielle Horowitz, sorry,
Oh,
we
Danielle.
don't bring other people into Zoom. We just have you.
No, I know, but I appreciate you telling me. No, Danielle's awesome. She's a student of mine. She's great.
Ah, okay. And Bill Wilkeson said, as an improviser himself, he's adoring it.
That's right, he is. And I think I saw he just got into some really cool acting improv thing, if I recall correctly. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Cool. Brittany Fivalent.
Yes, my dear friend Brittany. Yes, she's awesome.
Oh yeah, and she said
Amazing singer.
she
Yeah,
loved the Sunland concert. Yeah, she was there. I remember that.
it was,
And
yeah.
didn't she join us?
Did she get up on stage?
Yeah, I think she
I think
did.
I mean, she's an amazing singer. She's
Yeah.
a fantastic singer. She sang for years with I forget their name. The couple that played at why do I not remember anything? The couple that played at the
Welcome
restaurant
to
in Los
COVID.
Feliz, that really distinct the couple, they were in swingers. That oh gold.
Oh, you mean the people who play over in Silver Lake?
Yes. She used to sing with them like every
Oh,
well,
yeah, yeah. I know. I know. Over the
every
years, yeah, I know. Over the years, a lot of people have gone over there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they were out of work, man, for this.
yeah, of course.
I can't remember if one of them passed away or one was
I
sick.
hope not.
One was sick in the hospital.
Oh, I
I
think I remember.
think it was the guy, the man.
Why am I spacing on their names?
I
That's
know
they're
their
like a complete
names.
institution.
Yeah, I can't remember their
And they're
names.
great. I got up and sang with them too. They're a trip.
They were pretty amazing, and she just really cracked me up because she would play like a weird sounding instrument. Like she'd pick a like a pipe organish sound. Remember? And then she'd play jazz tunes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, they were very. They
Great.
were definitely out of that movie.
Yeah, for sure. And then
um,
Brittany's husband, Robert, too, I should plug this. He just produced a documentary called Summer of Soul, which I believe it won the Audience Award for documentary at Sundance. I might be getting
oh,
the award wrong, but it's Questlove produced it as well.
uh-huh.
But it's supposed to be incredible, and it'll be streaming soon. I haven't seen it yet, but
Cool.
that's pretty exciting.
By the
It's
way,
about it was
Marty and
Marty
Elaine,
and Elaine, Marty and Elaine.
and they're both still alive.
Thank God,
She
thank
said
God.
they're both still alive, staying alive. That's kind of perfect for them. Katina's here and Vardan is here.
No, Vardon is not here. Vardon, my idol. I have this. I started this imaginary rivalry with Vardon on Instagram. So
Really?
it's so stupid. What I do is because hold on, let me plug his book. I always plug his book. It's right here.
Wow, Vardan.
Mirror Exercises by Vardon Ovsepian. So yeah, what I do is
Yeah.
so this is his book. It's a great book. And you can see, actually, I never show people on Instagram because his stuff is so insane. I have to I don't know if you can see how much I analyzed it.
Yeah.
You see all my handwriting?
Yeah.
Vernon, I have to do this to play your stuff. I have to break it down. So I study it. So yeah, anyway, I started posting these silly videos with me trying to play his exercise. Because what I do is I go, he has a YouTube of him playing the exercises, and I go and I look at the exercises and I figure out what metronome speed he's playing them at. And then I try to play them like 2 clicks faster than him.
That's funny.
And he's got a new book out too, which I have not even cracked open yet. But yes. Anyway.
Vardan. Let's see. Katina said, I love when you post playing Vardan exercises.
Really.
Let's see. Tell everyone about finding out that you're a dope rapper in Fish to Birds.
Wait, who said that?
Ashley.
Ah! Yeah, I had this latent skill. Well, the funny thing is, I've always really loved rap and hip hop. Like I always just really loved it. And my brother had this little, he had a little, duo, growing up, and so we were just always kind of into it. And so I mean, I've listened to it a lot, and I guess just because my mind moves kind of quickly, like I'm just set at a bit of a higher speed than most people. I think quickly, and I've written a lot. So yeah, rapping is so fun for me. It is.
You're so good at it too. I mean, that's kind of Adrian's kind of cool thing in Fish to Birds. She's like the rapper. I cannot rap for crap. I can't. I don't know why. I just don't operate like that. I go for 3/4 and weird intervals.
We all have our go-to.
Yeah.
Any of those umbe. You have yours, Cecily. Yours 5/4.
Mine is something like some rhythmic thing that I go to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, that's great. I love it.
Mark Baldrich said he enjoyed your song "The Raft" for Tiny Desk.
You watch that? Okay, now that too. I so appreciate him saying that because that again, I just have this. It is funny for somebody that really does love being on stage, loves applause, um, loves being an artist and performing and all that stuff. I think it must be from, it may be from my classical past and just doing so many competitions, because when you are competing, there's, you're literally judged in the moment. Like you're on stage, there's three judges, they're sitting there with like pen, you have to write your measure numbers in your music. They have your music open, and then they're sitting there like this, you're playing. Second something screws up, they're like, and you hear writing, it's awful.
Oh
And
God.
the thing is, I mean, it's just hardcore. It's a hardcore world. They're preparing kids, to go into that world. The standards are the way they are. I mean, you're not going to get, obviously, they never boot people for like missing a note or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of nerves, and it did take some of the joy out of performing for me. And then when I started writing my own stuff, like it's a little hard to put myself out there. I think just because of that fear of judgment. So Tiny Desk, because we've submitted to Tiny Desk before twice for Fish to Birds, which I think was me. I think I pushed for that.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm glad we did, because we have two
Yeah,
videos from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I had never done it for myself. And then this year with the pandemic, I was just like, ugh, I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and then I left the video up on YouTube, and I saw the other day I had 60 views, which made me feel so weird. I'm like, who are those people? So I don't know. I have this odd dichotomy with, you know, loving to perform, loving applause, loving all that, loving the gratification of that, but then also just this fear and nerves. So again, Mark, I really appreciate that for saying that, because
I
that
have
was a
to
little
go.
scary for me to
I
do.
have to go look at it. Nicholas DeWolf, he said
Ah, Nicholas.
you're the bomb, and
Nicholas, I told them you were right. I don't know if you missed it, but I told
yeah.
them.
Oh, that was the Nicholas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. Yes, he is one of my dearest. Well,
I'm sorry
the
to
father of
keep
my daughter.
talking about everybody who's saying something, but there's a lot of comments, so I have to keep up with
Really?
them.
I was
Yeah.
so nervous nobody was going to come.
Well, definitely your friends are here. Katina says, please tell her lovely wife is here. And then Ashley said,
My wife.
wait, Katina, I thought you were mine.
Never loved Triangle. Alvaro won't mind. He will not
Uh,
mind. I can tell you that much.
all right. And then Katina said, I can be yours too. We can negotiate. Let's see. Let's see. Loving, love, I know, Ashley. So Ashley's going, talk about her coming album. I know, I know.
Oh,
We're
Ashley's
just
so
we're
great.
just growing towards there. It's only
Ashley
12:38.
also, Ashley helped me get over my nerves and fish to birds too, because she
Definitely.
will always push me. I mean, like push
Yeah.
me, like physically on
Yeah.
stage. She's
Yeah.
like, get out and do a solo. And when she would first do it, I was in hell. I was like, stop it. What am I gonna do? But then now I appreciate it. It's good. She nudged me. She threw me in the pool.
Yeah. Well,
So,
she's definitely not introverted.
No, but she likes her alone time too. She does. I think we're all a bit of a blend.
I know everybody has that, all of that same stuff. We're all built the same way, but
Yeah.
it's the degrees of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah. All right. So, tell us about your new album.
Oh, my record. So I have a record. I just finished it.
Is this your first record?
I guess technically. I mean, I have other records that I've done, but they've never been properly released
Uh-huh.
because I didn't really know what I was doing. And now hopefully we can talk about this as well. I'll just refer to this for a sec, but I produced about, I guess, 2 years ago now, a full length record for a jazz record for a client. And so I went through that whole process and, of doing it properly and getting it, released properly. We got PR for it. So then I sort of really understood the process. So that's been helpful. And I'm still, now I'm like getting everything together and going to look for PR and possibly labels and stuff like that. but the record, so I guess yes, technically it's my first, even though I don't really consider it that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so there's some great players on it: Nick Mancini, Jimmy Brantley, John Tegmeyer, Cathy Buckingham.
Couldn't find anyone good, huh?
Yeah, no,
Um,
they're all ridiculous.
so I would like to know about your ideas of starting this record. Like, what were you looking for? What did you perceive that it might be?
It's an interesting question. Um, well, I mean, I wish I had something more profound to say. I wrote songs and I wanted to record them.
Well, no, that's,
But I
I
wanted
mean,
to record them well.
I'm not saying why did you want to make a record. I'm just saying when you decided you were going to record, was it because you wanted to showcase your own material or maybe, I know there's at least one instrumental. Is there more than one instrumental?
No, just the one.
Yeah. And Adrian, I was listening to it and I said, "Oh, is this an instrumental?" And she said, "Yeah." And I was like, my first impression, again, I've known Adrian for a long time and pretty closely for the last 8 or 9 years,
Yes.
but I did not know that she played like this. And then she told me that Jimmy Brandley, when he was mixing it, he said, "Oh, I really like what Otmaro did, Otmaro Ruiz." And she said, "What do you mean? That's not Otmaro, it's me." So
Well, the funny thing is, Jimmy was on the session. He forgot.
that's funny. But I just I'm impressed with your piano playing. I didn't know you played like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's and the other thing is too. This is again because I do think it is really amazing. I mean, I'm just a classic example of you know somebody holding themselves back and just a lot of stop and start and things like that. And I know everybody does this.
Yeah.
Everybody has imposter syndrome. Everybody has self doubts. I think everybody is sensitive. But for me, coming from a classical background, it was kind of a weird start for me because I play my instrument at a high level because you have to compete at all in classical. So, but classical and jazz, tend to be, it may be a little bit different now, but certainly when I was taught and going to music camps and studying, like it was just very, very separate. And I literally did not know. This is how innocent I was. I didn't realize that jazz could be like taught. I thought it was some special, gene that people
You were
had.
born with it or not.
Literally, I had no idea. And I was obsessed with jazz growing up because my parents, always had like Bill Evans or Keith Jarrett or anybody. I mean, I would put on the Kern concert when I was little, like 9, 10 years old, whatever, and literally just lay on the floor and listen to it like over and over and over and over and over.
Hmm.
But again, I just thought, I mean, and look, Keith Jarrett is a genius. I'm not,
Yeah.
trying to get close to Keith, but I was just like, oh, that's just like a separate thing that I can't do.
Yeah.
When I started writing songs, like it almost was like this physical shock. I was like, wait, I can write a song. Like I literally didn't know because I just had classical brain. And then when I started playing with people, especially these, like these crazy heavyweights that I just mentioned, I mean, talk about imposter syndrome. Oh my God. And I am faking it to an extent. I am. I mean, a lot of people that I play with have been playing in jazz ensembles since they were kids or have, masters or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've studied a ton. I had to bring myself up to speed. I mean, just to give people an idea, in classical music, okay, now I'm going to be a music geek. In
Okay.
classical music, you can, because the emphasis is again on repertoire and reading. So if
Yeah.
somebody hands me something that would make somebody else vomit because it's 50 million notes, I'm like, oh, thank you. Like I want the notes, right? I want them handed
Yeah.
to me on the page. Um, but we only learn a certain amount of scales. We learn, let me get my glasses. We learn major, natural minor, harmonic minor, and melodic minor. And then they're like, oh yeah, there are modes, there are other kinds of scales. And then depending on what you do or what your interests are, you may or may not learn more. Well,
Yeah.
in jazz, there's like 25, 30 usable scales. And then there's bebop tones that come in and then you have to be able to read chord
Yeah.
symbols. You have to know advanced chords. I was just like, what is this? So that was a big hump for me to get over, just learning wise, you know. But I think I've strayed from your question, Cathy, because then I started talking about music theory.
Um, Let's see.
Oh,
Well,
the record.
yeah, but I have to interrupt you here because
Please.
Admiro said something funny. To be absolutely historically precise, historically, the day I met Adrian, I wanted to introduce myself as the pianist for the house band she was about to perform with. Instead, she stopped me with a hand gesture and said, "I need no stinking piano player," and jumped on stage and killed it. Love at first rejection. That's so cute.
Oh, you need to copy that. That's the blurb for my record. That I want that. OT, copy and paste. Copy and
Okay, I will. I'll
copy
send
and
it to
paste that,
you.
Kathy. That's great.
Okay.
That is word for word amazing. I did not say that. I did not say I don't need this. Yeah, that was at this great this great event that it was like a concert that had multiple female singers, and I played on two tunes. I only did four tunes that night, and I played on two. I did play on two, but he played on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He did. Yeah,
So
that was an amazing. That actually that night actually OT. I got to tell you, that night changed my life. That night when I met Otmaro. I also met Auron Serfati. I also met Rick Firabracci. He was the bass player. So that was my introduction to that level. Because when I started doing jazz, I was doing it at a certain level in LA because I didn't know anyone. Then when I met OT, that was my gateway into this sort of world of creative jazz and just world class artists.
yeah.
Right. So I got in through the side door. That was my OT side door. He was like, "Please come in."
So were you in Home Alone 3? Did I not read that?
It's- I have like one line,
You do?
but I made. You
Where?
know what? I still get checks from that movie.
Where's your line?
Where is it? Somewhere in the middle. I'm a flight attendant.
Oh, good. I'm gonna watch. I didn't. Sometimes you see your
I'll send
friends
you
and
the video.
you see your friends and stuff, and you don't even recognize them.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a good friend who's in a bunch of commercials now, Jody Jarris, and I do recognize her because she's just jumps out at me, and the spots are good.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question, and it might be lost right now, but my question was, what were you imagining to do with the record?
Well,
Obviously write originals and record them. Yeah. Anything else?
well, I mean, I definitely felt like, I had a little bit of a vision. I want to present my music. Um, I think my identity, like, again, learning how to write and write songs and also write instrumental music. I mean, that's just life changing, for me because it just really changed the way I thought about myself, and, I mean, I guess if I had to pick something, I mean, that is probably what I would pick. I would be happy just being like Emily Dickinson, sitting in a room, writing songs. If people hear them, fine. If they don't, fine. And I mean, I've written so many songs that haven't been recorded, that probably never will be recorded. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, it's just, you write stuff and you want it to be fully realized. Because I also started producing too. I started producing commercial music and pop music several years ago because I just started hearing it. Like I started hearing instrumentation that I wanted. So again, for me, it's not just the song. It's not just because the song technically is just the melody and the lyrics, technically, from a copyright perspective. But I heard harmonies that I wanted, and when I write, obviously, I'm writing the harmonies as well. But I mean, I just started hearing the presentation of what I wanted, and on this record, because everybody's such an amazing player. I mean, I wrote some lines. There's some lines that I wrote out for people to play, but for the most part, I mean, what am I going to tell people to do? Am I
I
going to tell
know.
Jam what bass line to play?
I know when you give them
No.
stuff, it's all of a sudden it comes alive.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always happened. I mean, look at Carol Kay. She wrote bum 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 bum. If these boots are made for walking.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, she didn't write it. She did it.
yeah, yeah,
She created it. And
yeah,
I mean, so musicians have always done that, but it's interesting to hear about from your point of view.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I guess when you work with people that you trust and that play at such a high level, I mean, unless you have something really, really specific, you've
Yeah.
written something as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you're like, this is my composition, please play this.
Right.
But other than that, oh yeah, I'm gonna give them pretty much free reign. I mean, maybe, if I'm producing something, I guess for somebody else, I
Hmm.
might be a little bit more directorial, so to speak, but
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, let's see. And we had some examples that of people you had produced or co-written, co-collaborated with, like Larry Wolf.
Yeah, Larry. Well,
Um,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
He emailed me. I don't know. He was having trouble getting on, so I'm
oh,
gonna see if he. I don't know if he's. I don't think he's on. Yeah, Larry's amazing. Larry's.
if he doesn't do Facebook for some reason, he can go to my YouTube link as well.
Yeah, he'll be psyched that I'm talking about him. I love Larry. Larry's amazing. Larry's an actor. He was in a huge amount of the Robert Downey Sr. Films. Um,
Oh,
he was Robert Downey Sr. did these satirical films in the 60s and 70s, Putney Swope and Pound,
oh,
probably the two best known. And Larry was part of that, sort of stable of actors that Robert Downey Sr. used, and he just had the most amazing. Like when you hear him talk about his background and his life in New York, growing up then. I mean, he knew Bob Dylan. He just had the most insane, bohemian, incredible life, and he's just always loved jazz.
huh.
So then he decided to do a full length album of jazz standards. So yes, I produced it and played on it.
Well, I'm looking to find it. I'm gonna play Twinkle Twinkle.
Yeah, this is fun. I arranged this one. Twinkle, I arranged. He
Whoops.
wanted to sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," which is really sweet.
Here we go. Here we go. Um, looking. Hold on one second. A lot of songs. Oh yeah, here we go. So I'm going to share the screen because the sound, I believe, is better. So share screen. Sound. Twinkle Twinkle. Here we go.
Yeah, this is really sweet. You don't have to play the whole thing, but
Okay.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
How sweet.
How you doing, Mr. Moon? Welcome to my little tune. Lighting up the nighttime skies, waiting for the sun to rise. How you doing, Mr. Moon? welcome to my little tune.
He's beautiful. And that's you, is that you playing as well?
Yeah, that's me, and I reharmonized it.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there's. I mean, Twinkle Twinkle is,
That was beautiful. God, I love that kind of singing. It's so totally to the heart, and as I've said many times with various people, you don't need a perfect voice of, perfectly produced. What you need is heart when you're singing, and that's
Larry
that's
Wolf
the
has that
thing.
in spades. I love that man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's an amazing actor, and he just and he loves music so much, and it comes through. It comes through in his voice. So yeah, I mean, I think my voice teacher, my amazing voice teacher, Jeffrey Allen, best voice teacher in town. I know everybody loves their voice teacher, but I love mine. But he's all about, it's not singing, it's meaning, it's storytelling. That's really what it is. So yeah, I love that. I love that kind of singing too, when you can just feel
Yeah.
the person.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Really
and
nice.
it's so poignant.
Yeah. We had a question. That was like a good question.
And that, by the way, on that record, that's actually got a lot of good players on it too. That one was just me and Larry. But there's also Edwin Livingston on bass, Dan Schnell on drums, John Techmeyer on clarinet, Jason Luckett on guitar. So there's some really, really good players on there too. And me.
Of course.
And we did Studio City Sound. Tom Weir owns that studio and engineered it and mixed it and mastered it.
Cool. Cecily finally arrived. Hello.
Yay,
My darling. And Mark says, in your song Na Na Na, what made you decide to do a music video? Did you also write lyrics, or was that Jackie Emerson?
Oh, interesting. People are people are Googling me. That's weird.
Well, Mark, he's the same guy who saw the Tiny Desk one.
I know. That's kind
Yeah.
of, I'm getting used to it. But yeah, so the video is all Jackie. She did that all by herself. So Jackie is a songwriting partner of mine, and she's an actor. She has a pretty big profile. She was in Hunger Games, and she and I have co-written a bunch of stuff that I've produced and played on. And so yeah, the video is 100% her. I had nothing to do with the video. She did that in Germany, so I wasn't even there. But yeah, we co-wrote the lyrics to Na Na Na. So we co-wrote, yeah.
Was that on your list that you were offering
You want to play it? Go for it, Cathy. Whatever you want. It's really cute, actually. So we sort of we did talk about the idea of it. So we had kind of a little bit of an idea, but then she really took it and went in her own direction. And she did it by herself. This is all her. She's amazingly talented.
Now, if I put this in, you said it was queued up to a good spot, but if I put this in, it's not queued up. So you might have to direct me to where that is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can do it anywhere. If you want to start at the beginning, it's fine. And then you don't have to play the whole thing, whatever you want. It's your show, Cathy.
It is?
Yes. As much as I would like to take over and make it.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here it is. Oh, maybe it is queued up. I don't know. Is that queued up?
Yeah, but I can't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. The video is super cute.
Shove me on a conveyor with my price tag glued in place. It's funny 'cause the robots here seem to have your face. Your coy duplicity bewildered me, but now I see all your mendacity. Your iron grip is getting rusty. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Bless you.
Your ego is your enemy. I pity you. You just can't see that you're the one in chains. Your greed controls your reins. It really almost pains me to say. Na 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 na. 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 Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Your iron grip is getting rusty.
Okay, that's it.
Nice, nice, nice.
I probably should have had you started from the beginning because now it didn't really make sense.
Well, what was it? Like I don't. Let's see.
We did. She did it like it's like a silent film concept. So like it's a young girl, she has Hollywood dreams, all that kind of stuff. People probably got it ish.
And not no 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 no. Is that like na 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 na?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like no.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's so that was I love doing that kind of music, and there's really good players on that too. Dan Lutz is playing bass, Sean Horton is playing drums, Nick Mancini did vibraphone and glockenspiel, I think. I played melodica, which I love playing, and piano.
Oh, really?
Some other stuff too. I did kalimba. I think I did a bunch of things. Tambourine. So yeah, it was. I love doing that kind of thing.
Let's just see. Okay. Yeah, Joyce. Yeah, okay. She likes the guy, the Larry Wolf too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nicholas says George. Oh yeah, George Méliès influence is heavy on that video. That's true.
That's right. That was the concept. And Nicholas, by the way, there's a couple of spoken word things in there. He says, I forget what he says. He says like radio old girl or something like that. But that was him.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Nicholas.
British. So yeah, I went and recorded his British accent. So yes.
That's cool. So, let's see. This kind of strays away from particular stuff that you've done, but do you have mentors or any mentors? Have you had mentors along the way?
Yeah, of course. They might not know that they are. But they are. I mean, you, Cathy, I would absolutely say you are for sure.
Oh.
Absolutely 100%.
Oh.
You for sure. OT for sure. Katina, Ashley. Like literally probably everybody in the comments right now.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah, I mean,
Chick Corea for me, mentor.
wait, you knew him?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hang out with him a lot, but I knew him. I recorded at his studio, and yeah, I saw him last year when he was the Recording Academy was showing his movie Antidote. You know about Antidote? That was one of his last records. That was amazing, and the movie was so great. Oh God, it was a documentary.
Yeah.
And he was there, and so we said hi, and but I mean, regardless, he was just a mentor. You know, the way that he held himself, was a personal and spiritual mentor for me, and musically, of course, all that he represented. Yeah. I mean, definitely. People like that, they are a part of your makeup, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, that's interesting. Well, if you're thinking about, I mean, I guess, there's people that I've never met ever, but I would sort of,
Say that they
have
were mentors.
definitely shaped. I mean, Keith Jarrett and Bill Evans for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting concept. I mean, there's people that I admire so much that are influential that I've never met.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, if you sort of want to model yourself after someone else or the way
Yeah.
they
Like
themselves.
we used to, I used to ask people what record did they play so much that they had to replace, you know?
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Did you
for me, the current concert for sure. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. The
Colin
K
Costume?
K-O umlaut L.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I've worn that out.
Yeah.
Just yeah, crazy. That record, I could sing the whole thing. That I've played over and over and over and over. And probably some, yeah, Joni Mitchell and Police records too. I'm a huge fan of the Police. That is actually, that's actually why I started doing music. Is because of Sting. Do you want to know my Sting story?
Yes, I think I've heard it, but the other people haven't.
I
So
I have, huh?
and you said started doing music, but started doing pop
No,
or
no,
away
music at
from
all. No music at all. Just music.
really? Oh, okay,
Well, I moved out here for acting. I did not move out here for music
okay.
because I acted professionally in Chicago. This is another part of my life I like never talk about. I acted professionally in Chicago, and I was doing really well, and I moved out here, and all my friends were doing well, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on that bandwagon. And I mean, I could not get arrested, and I just didn't like it. Like the scene in Chicago is great. I mean, it's theater based. It's much smaller. It's more manageable.
Yeah.
I just got overwhelmed when I came out here.
Hmm.
And now I know there is actually a fabulous theater scene out here.
Yeah.
There's If I had stuck with acting, I probably would have found my way. I have friends that have, and really created a community for themselves. But when I first came out here, I was just like, whoa. But yeah, the Sting story, I don't know. Let me see if I can tell it in 5 seconds because otherwise it'll take up the rest of the time. But just suffice it to say that I was determined to meet Sting and Dominic Miller, and I wrote letters, and everybody laughed at me. But one of the letters made it to Sting, and I got backstage and met everybody. I literally met everyone, and saw the concert from the second row. Went to the after party, and it was just. And then I was. It literally. I remember watching that concert and just being blissed out, and then just being like, okay, I'm gonna switch. And I think that might have been, yeah, anyway, it was just literally a revelation. I was like, I have to switch to music and just forget acting. And literally it was just like a switch in my brain. I just never cared about acting anymore after that. I mean, I love acting
Oh no,
itself.
wait a minute, wait a minute. We were going to talk about
What
the movie with Nick Mancini.
the movie? Yeah, that was another wild experience. Yeah, so I did. The movie's in post production right now. Everything's in production. But I shot a film a couple years ago because I never talk about acting. I just literally don't. And I was at sort of a dinner. We were just hanging out with Nick and Afton, his wife, and Keith Wolf, who's a mutual friend of Nick and Afton and mine. And we were just hanging out, and I knew that Nick had was going to be in a movie. Somebody had written a role for him because Nick has never acted. But Nick, let me tell you, that guy is a natural. He is a natural, and he's one of my closest friends. I knew he would be good. I actually didn't realize he was going to be that good. He was amazing. But so anyway, we were talking, and it sort of came out that I had acted. And so Keith was like, oh, interesting. But the way he asked me, and he was like, oh, tell me about that, because he didn't know. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought he was making conversation. And at that point, actually, Nick and Afton were not married yet. They were engaged, but we were all going to the wedding. So then Keith called me a couple days later, and I thought he was calling me about, like, do you want to Uber to the airport or something? And he was like, do you want to be in this movie? And I was like, what? So, yeah, I took it. And the thing was, I had always said when I quit acting, I was like, I'm not going to pursue it. But if something lands in my lap that I want to do, I'll do it. And that is literally what happened. So I guess I kind of set that intention and forgot about it. And then it happened. And then we shot that movie, and it was an absolute blast. We shot it in the high desert and had so much fun. Nick and I play ex-spouses. We have some bickering scenes. It's pretty funny. And yeah, so that was it. So I'm excited. I've seen some rough cuts of it, and I'm excited for it to come out. I'm sure it's been delayed, obviously, with the pandemic.
What's the name of it?
I don't know. They had
Oh,
a working, yeah, they had, it was literally an untitled project. So yeah, there's no name. But yeah,
I can't wait to see that.
I know it's a really cute movie. It's a really sweet script. So we had a great time shooting it.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Nicholas said, ask her about her amazing Irish accent.
Oh gosh,
Warning, rabbit hole.
what do you mean asking about it? I'll just do it. What is he talking about? Now he's British. So he sort of makes fun of me when I talk like this, because this is completely uneducated. I never studied the Irish accent, and there's different regions, it's a big country. So, I don't really know. So what I say when I give background for my accent, I say, I'm originally from Cork, from County Cork, but then we moved around. I lived in Texas for a while, in Dallas, and we lived in in Dubai, and then I moved back. Now I live in Limerick. So my accent it's a global Irish. Global Irish is what so then that saves me from actually having to practice and study. Like actors that know what they're doing do. They actually study. I never studied it. But yeah, I sort of lapse into it. It's really fun. And the thing is, what I say about it, I have a better personality when I talk like this. It's my party personality. Oh no, I talk to, like, in the before times, I would go to Trader Joe's and like be checking out and kind of go into this. Everybody starts to laugh, and all of a sudden I'm super popular. It's great. So anyway, see, now if I take it off, then I'm boring again.
Yeah.
It's so boring, right?
No, for some reason I had an accent like that, not Australian, but like kind of New Zealandish or something.
That's a
I don't know.
hard.
I don't know why. It just came up and it was like totally natural. And then also when I was cold calling years ago, oh gosh, my first husband, I was the cold caller. We were cleaning carpets.
Yeah.
And no, people would hang up on me all the time until I added an English accent.
Really?
Nobody hung up on me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm going to talk like this all the time then. Then everyone will pay more attention to me and like me more.
Well, especially when you're trying to get, help on the telephone.
Carpets cleaned.
Help on the telephone,
Exactly.
Yeah. I think people are just like they're kind it's out of the usual.
Of course.
Oh, I have to close my blinds. Continue on without me.
What should I say? Should I just talk to people in an Irish accent? See, I don't know who's there. Kathy, I'm just talking to your chair. I love all your decorations in your room. There you are. You look lovely. Look at all that red. Kathy, it just pops against your hair. You look phenomenal. Anyway,
So,
we could play a little bit of the record before people leave.
Oh,
We can only play a little
course.
tiny bit.
Okay,
Little
like
tiny clips.
30 or 40
30 seconds. 30
seconds.
seconds.
Okay. So, let's see. Here it is. And again, I think the sound is better when I share the screen.
Sure.
But I don't want to share your location because you don't want people to know.
Oh.
But
Tell people where we are. Don't they have like geolocators? Kathy, everyone's watching us right now.
I know.
Nothing
see.
is private anymore.
Okay, so I'll do this first. Okay, that's enough for that one.
Enough. I have to keep it under wraps.
Okay, now let's see. You said he's not that one?
Yeah, we should talk about Gemini a little bit, though.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk first and then play the other one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah. So I mean, again, if I had to choose anything, I mean, definitely playing that kind of music, writing and recording and playing, and creative jazz. Yeah, that would absolutely be my choice if I had my druthers. Even though I like all this other kind of music too, but yeah, that's so. Again, I think I named the players, but that's Nick Mancini, John Tegmeyer, Cathy Buckingham, Dan Lutz, and Jimmy Branley on vibes, clarinet, flute, drums, bass. Probably not in that order. I think I goofed.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, but that's mixed meter. So I guess that's sort of I sort of consider that chamber jazz a little bit in that some of it is really written out and structured, but then there's also a lot of room for improvisation. So, that kind of stuff, that chamber jazz that sort of blends, I guess, some classical elements with jazz. I mean, that is massively up my alley. I love, listening to it. I love watching people perform it. That's definitely my go-to, my fave. So yeah. So
Cool.
That's Gemini.
I guess my term for that is modern jazz, but I was thinking too how coming from the classical background probably developed that for you as well.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. When I started doing jazz, and learning all the different, because again, you have to have a very, a very big vocabulary of jazz in terms of chords and scales. And it's interesting too, because then when you go back and you sort of look at classical music again, particularly classical music written after a certain time period, so certainly the Impressionists, Debussy, Ravel, people like Scriabin that kind of straddle
Yeah.
periods, and and certainly more modern composers. I would look at like a Debussy thing that had just stumped me, and like, I mean, I would learn it and I would memorize it, but I'm memorizing it and sort of, I was kind of hacking it a little bit. And then I go back now and I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's just a half whole scale, which nobody taught me before. I didn't know that scale. I literally did not know that scale.
Yeah.
And now I go back and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I think they really, and then classical, obviously, because the emphasis is on virtuosity and playing your instrument, and it's not as chordal as a lot of jazz is, and I think you really develop your. I'm not saying jazz players don't have a good left hand, because of course a ton of people do, but there's a big emphasis in classical on developing your left hand in particular. So so that's helpful. But it is interesting because I mean, music is just music. And there's a great Miles Davis quote about music. I can't remember it exactly, but he's like, there's just music. It's good,
Yeah.
bad, but that's it.
Yeah.
Because when you start breaking things down into genres and subgenres, at a certain point it just gets silly. I mean, do you like it or do you not like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. There's so many things. What?
Are you okay? Do you need water?
It's just my normal. Thank you. My normal cough.
I know.
She's heard it about a million times.
I have.
Let's hear the other song. He's not you, right?
He's not quite.
He's not quite you. Wait, that's not it. Hold on. It didn't move off.
That's okay.
Here we go. I love this song.
Yeah, I played that at Blue Bell.
It's a good song.
You're not sharing your screen, right?
Thank you.
He's not quite you. His looks are similar, but he isn't quite you. It's not quite right.
There we go.
We're not sharing because the whole thing because of where she's at in her release process.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, tell us about that song.
It's actually the second song I ever wrote. So, the first song I ever wrote was actually a comedy song, believe it or not. I actually love writing comedy songs. So that one, I think I need to do an album of comedy songs. So that was the second song that I wrote. Most of my songs tend to be super depressing. Sad. Yeah, so I tend to write I think almost everything I write is either depressing or a story, like a story song, like some weird story song, or a comedy song.
Well, this one, tell us some of the words, would you?
Oh, so that one is oh my God. You know what's so terrible? I am awful at remembering lyrics. And even mine, I'm like, wait, what is it again?
Actually, me too.
I
So
wrote it.
you're not alone in that. I have trouble remembering my own music more than standards.
Well, I think standards, you just knew them longer. Like we've all known standards since we were kids because a lot of those songs came out in the 30s, 40s, 50s. So we've like known them literally since we were children.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's not, what is it? He's not quite you. His looks are similar, but he isn't quite you. Dark curly hair feels familiar. Alabaster skin, your receding chin, but he isn't quite you. That was that lyric that you just heard.
And then how does it move on? I forget. But
It's not quite right. It's lovely. It's stable, but it isn't quite right. I never used to want to turn out the light or be polite. It isn't quite right.
yeah, I think it's a great song.
Thank you, Cathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was again something like I was like in this weird state of amazement when I wrote it. Like it was bizarre. I didn't really feel like I was writing it and I had zero confidence that I could write anything. And then
Yeah.
I was just putting cuz you know what it was? This is what it was. Because I was learning jazz chords, advanced chords that I didn't know and learning how to
Yeah.
read chord symbols.
Yeah.
And so because I'm such a nerd, I made flashcards for myself of chords and I had to write them out. I had to literally use notation, and be like, B flat 13 or whatever, and then turn it out and have it written out. Because a lot of the voicings are rootless voicings because bass players play the root. So typically when you're playing in a group that has a bass player, you don't want to step on the bass player, right? But learning these rootless voicings just blew my mind. Like that is not what classical people do. And I was like, how is this a D minor 9? There's no D. Where's the D? So that was really took me a long time. But I sort of had this little basket of flashcards and I would test myself, but then I would mix them up. And so what would happen is I would sort of accidentally write things because I would pull out like 2 or 3 and it would just randomly be a chord progression that I liked. Wait, what is that? And then I would stop and it was almost like this magical thing that happened because I would just
Interesting.
hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the reason why I realized that I could write, that for some reason I can just hear the bass. I know exactly what I want the bass to be, and then I just find the bass. So I know what the root of the chord is.
Yeah.
It's a matter of figuring out, the chords. And then obviously as my vocabulary has expanded and I've gotten more confident, then it's much easier, for me to write now.
Yeah.
But that was one where I was just like, is this me? Is this real life? Am I really writing this right now? But so that's that's a special song for me in that. And it was funny too, though. I wrote that song, and then I was like, what if I can never write anything else? What if this is the only song? I'll never write anything as good as this. And that's kind of.
Oh yeah. You know what I went through once? I was writing and I wasn't writing what I was writing was kind of coming out like folk songs, and I was like, folk songs, I want to write jazz, and I was so critical that I stopped writing. And it was about a year later that an artist friend of mine, a painter, He said, I can't even remember the line he said. He said one sentence, and I suddenly realized that I was stopping myself from being creative because I was limiting what I was writing. So from then on, I just was like, big deal. If I write some jerky song, I'll just throw it away, or I don't have to sing everything or show anyone anything. And then I started back writing.
I'm so glad you did, Kathy, because your songs are amazing. The one that you wrote about your sisters that you played at that house concert. Oh my God, everybody was bawling. That's it.
That one is very connected.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's like I literally tear up just thinking about that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's an example because that's kind of a folky song, and I had written kind of a series of songs like that.
Uh-huh.
And but Larry and Josh, when you give that song to Larry and Josh, it's not just a plain old folk song, it's something more.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Well, I mean, a song is just, legally, a song is just melody and lyrics. So, I mean, if people are reharmonizing it or adding, the richness of extended chords, I mean, then it's going to start sounding like a different genre, and it just expands that palette. Not that there's anything wrong with things that are simple in folk music. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
and sometimes it's more appropriate,
Hmm.
you know. But it just again, it's just taste, and it's just wow, what vehicle do you want? What bed do you want your song? You know,
Yeah, exactly. Um, um, wait, I had a good idea, but it kind of left.
well, I had a good idea too, so maybe
Oh,
this.
I know, I
Oh,
know. I wanted to tell you. Do you, I can't remember if you know about Evie Layden.
Evie Layden, no.
She's married to Keith Terry, the body percussion guy.
Uh huh.
Remember Keith Terry?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is all vague.
Okay, I thought you might have come to the concert. They did
No,
or workshop. They did it.
I
They did
remember
it.
you talking about it, but no.
Emil is part of it because Maggie is part of that crew
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Anyway, I had Evie Layden on, for an interview. Wow. So she's not a jazz person at all. She's wow, she clogs incredibly. She does body percussion
Right.
incredibly. She plays an amazing banjo.
Oh, nice.
She plays guitar. She sings. She writes.
Wow.
She's very super creative. But the thing is, she's she's really into uh, I can't remember the title of this. It's the real authentic American music that's from like the Green Hills of Alabama.
Bluegrass?
Well, yeah, but there's a deeper genre title.
I mean, like
Um,
bluegrass, Americana.
yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, she's into that. And it's listening to it. I hate to admit it, but it really, I mean, I'm kind of happy that I found that I was extremely ignorant in that music. And I thought, gosh, people should know about this music. I mean, really, we should all really get educated about it. It's our music. It was born here,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's great. It's wonderful stuff, and it's not again like we've been throwing around the term, folk music, just folk
yeah,
music, but it's like folk music. It's
yeah, yeah, for
really
sure.
wonderful. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Where is she from?
Well, they live in San Francisco, but I'm not sure she's from there. But maybe she is from San Francisco.
I'm from Georgia, and so I'm from Atlanta, and so my childhood, my school would also sort of facilitate these trips, but then also my parents would take me.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of music like that, growing up. Like we would go to, festivals and stuff. And it's a bit, like the beginning of Deliverance where the two guys are sitting on the porch playing banjo. Oh yeah, I grew up seeing stuff like that. Not the in part of, not the scary part of Deliverance. But yeah, I mean, that's all, those are all like, because that part of the country, I mean, that's all, it's so heavily like, Scottish and Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought a lot of that music. A lot of that music is really old.
Yeah.
know? And then people that can't, people that aren't trained, maybe some people are literally illiterate, certainly possibly illiterate with, reading music or knowing chords or anything like that. But again, who cares? I mean, I would rather see somebody playing like one string on a banjo and singing, but meaning it, and doing something cool than somebody playing, a billion notes. But,
like all those great old blues people, you know.
oh, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so authentic. It taps into what we were talking about before. Just
Yeah.
taps in, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's interesting because I think bluegrass specifically sort of evolved because I mean, there's really only three genres of music that kind of demand virtuosity at your instrument. Classical for sure, jazz for sure. Just because you can't, I mean, how are you going to fake it? Like you just can't. But also bluegrass. When you see people, like a Bela Fleck or somebody like that on banjo. Oh, I mean, those people are, yeah, they're world class
yeah.
instrumentalists. And so I think the style of music you might be talking, is it roots? Is that what you're talking about? That she does?
Don't think that's what I was referring to, but that sounds kind of familiar. I mean, if you have a minute, you could go look at the archives, Evie Layden.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
but she's she is such a cool woman. Also, I don't know if you ever saw the video, Moira Smiley's video of, I think it was 6 women, including Maggie, outdoors
Uh-huh.
singing. I think it was "Bring Me a Little Water," Sylvie. You know that song?
Oh, huh, I don't know any. See, now I feel ignorant. I'm like,
So
what?
good. Oh my God, it's
Oh,
so
nice.
good.
Yeah,
And it's one of my favorite actually things to
Where is my?
watch. Bring Me a Little Water, Sylvie, by Moira Smiley.
What's
And
it called? Bring me a little water.
yeah, Bring Me a Little Water, Sylvie.
I'm putting this in my phone. Very modern.
And um, anyway, but Evie actually choreographed it. And
Nice.
it's real organic, and these women. I mean, when you watch it, you'll want to be one of the women.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did.
Awesome.
In fact, I think I wrote to Moira and I said I want to be there.
Can
I
I
want
can
to. Yeah, just so great. Well, Moira's another amazing, talented person too.
you've interviewed some cool people on this show, Kathy.
I know. Mark Jordan. Are you hip to Mark Jordan?
No,
You should check out Mark Jordan. MARC.
I'm writing it down on my phone. Mark
He's
Jordan.
Canadian, and I think Toby, you were the person who might have turned me on, or was it you, Joyce Glasgow? Anyway, Mark Jordan. Oh no, it was it was the girl. She doesn't really come on too much anymore.
Uh,
Karen McCantus. So
what's her name?
well, Karen McCantus. She told me about Mark, I believe. Anyway, I had him on. He's Canadian. He has written for uh, Rod Stewart, and he's written for the Manhattan Transfer. He writes, to me, his songs are a little bit like Bonnie Raitt style, and he plays guitar and sings. And I swear to God, he sings like a jazz singer. But he sings this music. He's totally yummy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, I love hearing about new people. I mean, it is overwhelming because there's so many ridiculously good artists out there and music out there that I don't know. I mean, you could sit around all day long and just talk.
totally. Totally, one after the other. I know, it's
Yeah,
really amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I heard, I went to the Soapbox Gallery the other night to watch Paul Jost, my friend, play. And I saw this woman, what's her name? Eve. Just another great singer, and I'm saying just another great singer, but really great singer. Her name, I'm going to tell you her name because I would like to have her on if I can get her. Uh, Her name is Emily Braden.
Emily Braden, I'm writing this down.
Wow, really good singer. Really good singer. She's from New York. Really good. So, speaking of good singer, you had other things that you wanted me to play your dad.
My daddy. You can always play my dad. Yes. So my dad is a classical guitarist. He's better known as a pedagogue. He's written a bunch of books, about 20 books. Um, and I helped him recently. He's got a new book coming out of duets, fingerstyle duets. But yeah, he's straight up classical. So that's why I don't play guitar because, he's got the nails on this hand. I literally grew up with that man. Like you can't, because, guitar players, if they break a nail, it's a big deal. And I remember a couple of emergency situations where he had to get some Lee press on nails before a concert because he broke one. There was a lot of crazy glue in the house, a lot of practicing, a lot of students. So yeah, I grew up with that. I think that's why certain people are like bothered by extraneous noise. I'm completely not because I just grew up with constant sound and music and him practicing and me practicing and just I can tune it out. But yeah, my dad was definitely one of my best teachers. He got obsessed with classical piano and just studied technique books. And even though he kind of can't execute it, he understands how to express concepts. So I do a lot of stuff now that my dad taught me, and he's not even a pianist. But anyway, yeah, you can play a little bit of it.
Okay.
There's my dad.
Very beautiful. You know, and Cecily was saying, yeah, I know Cecily, I didn't see that either. You almost didn't see his fingers playing the
It's
melody.
crazy in it. He's playing
It's
the melody
crazy.
and the strumming at the same time.
And not only is he playing the melody, I also heard him play like a little inflection.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, what? You know, like you're instead
musical
of
guy.
ba-da-da-da, you know, you'd be ba-la-da-da-da, you know, it's
Yeah,
like, what? That is crazy.
yeah,
That's really crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I love that song. That's such a pretty song.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's what I grew up with. But
Yeah.
that's why because with piano, like I had to choose. Because with piano, you have to have super short nails, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with guitar, my dad, at the time, now he's loosened up a little bit and sometimes he plays with a pick.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of attempted lessons and I was just like, oh, forget it. But it is funny that I grew up with that and I can't play the guitar.
I played guitar for a while, and I remember learning classical, and it's intriguing, but you really have to love it to
Yeah,
do it because
yeah,
it's a that's why Ted Green was such a unusual guitarist, and there are
yeah.
several people like him. Phil DeGray, I can't remember how you say his name, from New Orleans, and there's some Japanese students of Ted's, but Ted played. He played the bass, the chords, and the melody at the same time
Yeah,
and independently.
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, it's pretty amazing to be able to do that on something that has six strings.
Yeah,
You know, that is fun. I mean, piano has 88 keys, so it's a little bit easier for us
yeah, yeah,
like that.
yeah. I always thought guitar was one of the harder instruments to play.
I can't conceptualize it. I literally
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Like it's on the. I mean, obviously I haven't studied it. I'm sure if I studied it, I could figure it out.
yeah,
But yeah, it does kind of blow my mind a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Um, what's happening now for you in this strange, unusual, historic time?
Well, I'm trying. Like everybody else, I definitely have pandemic achievement syndrome, trying to get as much done as possible. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, it was really hard for me at the beginning. I've gotten used to it, like a lot of people have gotten used to it. I'm just trying to use the extra time to. I mean, I finished my record, so I guess that is, an achievement. I did something. But I'm also working on, getting my home studio up and running because with all my production, I've kind of cheated because one of my closest friends owns a recording studio. So it's very easy. I mean, I have sat beside that guy for hours and hours and hours, and he engineers and I produce. So I'm sitting there watching him work in Pro Tools, or Melodyne or whatever program. So I'm familiar with it, but I haven't. My own engineering abilities are, you know, slimmer than that. So I'm trying to get all that up and running, and just practice as much as I can, write as much as I can. I actually love teaching
Teaching,
remotely.
right?
Love
Yeah.
teaching remotely. Oh, that's my jam. I really like it. I do. I know a lot of
What do
people
you,
don't, but I actually.
I know. What do you like about it?
Well, there's just the thing that's cool about it because I did go home. I went home for 3 months and I was able to still work, which I had never been able to do. So that
Oh,
was
right, right,
yeah.
right.
So that was
Yeah,
that was that was really neat. Just the feeling of freedom.
yeah,
Of being able to sort of take it anywhere.
yeah.
And also, I think like the whole Instagram thing. I know it sounds silly because social media, whatever, people perceive it as being a little frivolous. But I think for somebody like myself that was originally a very shy person and does get sort of scared of putting yourself out there, it has been amazing. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then like some random piano trio from Sweden followed me the other day, and I'm like, how do they even know who I am? And I go to their website, and I'm like, wow, these guys are amazing. So stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, the pandemic did kind of open that up for me. I don't know if I would have. It just because you're isolated, and that's sort of the best way to reach out to people is virtually. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I got to get this going. Like this is silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's yeah. I mean, I'm just doing like everybody else. Just trying to get everything moving. And now, I mean, I've realized I have so much material that I want to record and sort of organize into different kinds of records. So, Kathy, I may turn into you because you have like how many records now? Like 4,000. So I need to, you put
4,000.
out a new record like every 3 months. So I need to get cracking. So like once this thing is out, I want to like record another one, put it out. But I mean, like with you, you'll put out a record, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then you have another record, and I'm like, wait, didn't she just?
Well, now I've been doing singles, which is even faster.
Yeah,
You
more.
know, like every month and a half or 2 months, I can put out another single, which has
Yeah,
been really fun. I'm enjoying the single
yeah,
release
yeah.
thing. Yeah, and mostly I think, well, for several reasons. Just the actual doingness of you're in the studio, but it's real easy to confront. It's one song. But I do have all my, like this last thing, I have all my tracks done with two different bands. And so the tracks are done. So I'm just going in to fix the vocals and then edit, and mix. But it's very confrontable. And then the whole thing about well, I like the repetition of having to remember what order to do things, the Spotify, the da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also, I think it's great, I mean, for PR marketing, because it's like, when you do the record, it's a big hoo ha. And
Right.
then about 2 weeks later, it's kind of gone out of everybody's head. I mean, some people will remember and say, "Oh, I loved your record," but it's the hoo-ha is gone.
Right,
And
right.
so with singles, you got some hoo-ha, and then I like that word,
I'm stealing that too.
hoo-ha, and we could use it of fish to birds. And then a month and a half later, there's another one, and it's
Yeah,
there's some more hoo-ha, and then a month and a half later. And so people, and it's funny actually, because that's no wonder I like it, because that's kind of how my career has gone over all the years. Because you can't believe how many people over the years have told me, "Oh my God, you're so busy. You're all over the place." When in fact, like I might not have been so busy. I had a weekly jam session, but my PR was always out there. I was always saying,
yeah.
"Oh, I was always sending newsletters no matter who said they didn't want it."
You're like unsubscribe. I don't think so.
Exactly. But so it's funny because this actually is following that that
Yeah.
that
Well, I think
method.
for creative people, I mean, it's hard, especially for people that are collaborative. I mean, this is really, really difficult. And,
Yeah.
everybody is definitely jonesing to be in a room with
Yeah,
musicians and
definitely.
music. So we just sort of have to figure out ways to be creative, on our own or virtually or whatever. But I think that, I mean, as awful as this is, I do think, it's opened up some interesting avenues, of exploration for people.
Yeah.
You know, um, but I mean, like you have been so visible online during this Altmaro. I don't know if Altmaro is still here, but he's had some amazing
I love his
series.
show.
Yeah, I know they're so. Oh, you know what you should play
Yeah.
before we go? We
Yeah.
definitely. I don't know if Altmaro and Katina are still here, but some of that Lotto based
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
That Lotto based that was. I want them to finish. They need to do another record and ask me to be on it because performing with them and going to Brazil and doing that tour, that is one of my life highlights. I mean, when you sing vocal arrangements by Amaro Ruiz, that is no joke. No joke. And I played a vocoder for the first time, which is a trip. Yeah, that for people that don't know, Lado Bay is the project of Amaro Ruiz and his wife, Katina De Luna, was nominated for a Grammy for in 2016 for arrangements of the girl from Ipanema, and it's
Yeah.
insane record. The record is perfect. It's so
Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful.
yeah. It was such a
Yeah.
blast to be
Yeah,
part of that group.
I mean, they're so wonderful.
Yeah,
They are really so wonderful. So here is
they're
this.
my wife and husband-in-law.
Yeah.
There's Christina.
Oh, good. And it is.
O vento soprou, a folha caiu. Cadê meu amor que a noite chegou fazendo frio? O vento soprou, a folha caiu. Cadê meu amor que a noite chegou fazendo frio? O vento soprou, a folha caiu. Cadê meu amor que a noite chegou fazendo frio? O vento soprou, a folha caiu. Cadê meu amor que a noite chegou fazendo frio?
Oh,
Thank you so much.
oh God. Totally beautiful. Really, I mean, everything about them is just high quality and beauty. And that was our dear blue whale. What a
Ah,
an
I can't even.
amazing.
I can't. It's hard to look at those videos.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Those are crack.
Oh, I know that really is a loss.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
really
James
is.
did such a beautiful job with that. He really did.
Yes, he did.
So it's okay. We'll rebuild it.
Yeah, and he probably needed a moment off,
Of course.
because he
That's
was
hard.
spending so much time in Korea, and I think he'll come back. But yeah, he was. He was. He was my student, right?
I do. Of course, I know that.
And
Okay,
when
credit to you. Hugely happy.
when he showed up at my door, he had gotten my name from MI, and even though I wasn't working there anymore, yeah, I was still kind of in their files. And he showed up and he said, I want to sing jazz. I've only, bought some records and, fooled around. So, he sang something like All the Things You Are. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I said, do you scat? And he said, well, not really. Yeah, he did. He was so good right away. And he was just so beautiful, such a beautiful soul. And then when he told me he was making the blue whale, I was like, wow, that what a strong gesture.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way of putting it. Yeah, that was a big deal what he did.
Yeah,
He made a beautiful space. I mean, there's just nothing like it, and just the
yeah,
vibe in the community, the bartenders.
I know.
I love the bartenders.
I know.
Yeah, everybody is just
Yeah,
amazing.
it's such a beautiful space,
Yeah.
aesthetic. And then Katina, Miss Absolute Gorgeous, inside and out, just so musical, and Admaro, and the band, oh, the drummer, oh,
Yeah, Anna's great. Yeah, we
love
had
the
different
drummer.
configurations in that concert. That was Dadek Olis on bass, who's
Uh-huh.
phenomenal. Um, Sometimes we had Chris Wavich on drums, who's also great. Adon Serfati, I think,
Yeah.
was the original drummer in the project. Clarice Cast on,
Yes, uh-huh. The percussionist.
yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Larry Kuntz, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes would we have Bob Shepard? I think Bob Shepard played too. I know he played on the record. And then Nick Mancini was actually, he was sitting on the side in that video.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think he was playing marimba.
Then I noticed Jessica Valtor in the background singers. You.
Sayas Bedini, Naomi Taniguchi, S.J. Hasman.
Oh,
Afton got up and sang. Oh, Afton sang at some different concerts. So we did different configurations.
yeah.
So sometimes it would be, that was when we had the 6-person female vocal chorus, which was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Bentledge did a show with us. Yeah, we had different stuff. But then sometimes, and when I did the Brazil tour, that's when OT busted out the vocoder, and so that was really fascinating. I was telling you about that. It's connected to a keyboard. So when you play a chord, because those vocal arrangements are really dense. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can hear that, but they're crunchy, and so you're playing. So I'm playing, multiple notes, and the crazy thing is, it's all my voice because it synthesizes it. You play the notes, you're singing one note, which triggers the vocoder, but then your pressure on the keys is sort of splitting your voice, so to speak. So I'm singing like 4 notes at once. And so it took me a minute to get used to like which note is actually mine because I can hear myself and I'm like, wait, which note is
Oh,
it?
interesting.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you get used to it. You get used to
Yeah.
it. So sometimes, so when we would do it with 2 or 3 singers, then I would also be playing the harmonies
I see.
simultaneously, just to
Fill
it
it out.
was
Yeah.
a cool effect.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was fun.
We're coming to the end.
No, Kathy, I want to talk to you more.
Well, we could, but you know. So, is there anything you'd like to say to the listening public?
I don't know who's there. I don't know if any of my students are there. Some of my students said they were going to tune in.
Well, let's just say some of your students and friends and other people are going to hear it.
Okay. What would I like to say? I guess just keep supporting live music. These venues have to stay open. We have to have places to play.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
Could you show your pieces of paper?
you're the best, Kathy. See, I suck at PR. Everybody follow me on Instagram now because I love Instagram so much. I'm a newbie to it. There I am. Not my name. A like apple, D like dog, R like Robert, I like India, A like apple, N like Nancy, another N like Nancy, E like egg, Duncan. That's me. And then this is I just have a landing page right now, or a splash page, whatever you call it.
Okay.
That's my website, pretty easy to remember. And I did if you spell it wrong, it's not that big of a deal because I have those domain names too that will all point there. Yeah, so if anybody wants information about the record, they can go to I guess you could message me on Instagram,
When will it come out?
sign up. Pardon?
When will the record come out?
No, I'm hoping like a couple of months.
Okay.
Fast, we'll see. I have to start hustling. It's overwhelming. It's weird to do this by yourself, and it's really weird to do it in a pandemic because
Yeah.
I'm literally just by myself. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So but it's I have help. My friends are amazing. I reach out to people all the time. I lean on people all the time. Thank God they let me. So yeah, so it's good. No, I mean I have a lot of help and moral support from people like OT, Katina, Nick, my friend Ben, Nicholas, Jay Matsueda, ridiculously amazing help. So yeah, tons of people. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but
Yeah.
so anyway, I mean, I guess like with the pandemic, I mean, just I don't know, love everybody. I guess it's kind of Pollyanna-ish, but
Oh, it's not Pollyanna-ish. It's nice.
yeah. But I just am so appreciative of the friends I have and the fact that I have been able to maintain those friendships, while being cautious, and we have found ways to do it and figure it out and see each other. And, I'm hoping one thing that I was going to do, that when everything got really bad during the surge, we couldn't do it, but I'm hoping to be hosting. I'm not trying to take over your territory, Kathy, but I am going to be hosting a little live thing, but within a studio. So where people can play. My friend Tom has completely retrofitted his studio for COVID.
Cool.
So I can be in one room.
Yeah.
Everybody, he has it all tricked out so that I think up to 8 people can be playing simultaneously. And is that Gary? Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary. Can you wait a minute?
Loud noise coming on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Super loud noise coming on just in time.
Oh, Oops, that's all right.
We're finishing the house.
Oh, nice. That's not that
That's a
loud.
nice noise. Okay.
It's not that loud. Anyway, but yeah. So hopefully that's something that will be happening relatively soon.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Adrianne Duncan, I love you very much.
I love you very much. You're the best ever. I want to see you. I haven't seen you. I feel like I've seen you because I've seen you virtually a lot.
I know. I know. We really should make like
Yeah,
maybe now we can make like a park meeting or something,
Yeah, or your backyard or whatever. It doesn't matter. I would be.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yay. Yeah. All right.
Love you.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to tell people who's coming. If you want to stay, you can,
Yeah,
or
sure.
not.
Oh, you mean you're coming? Well, yeah, of course I'm not going to leave. I want to hear too.
All right. Well, I have some. It's a very nice lineup coming, and the 4 days a week that I'm not doing live, I decided to post the archives.
Yeah, I saw.
It's pretty cool. So this week the archives are Catherine Bostick, Sonny Wilkinson, and skipping over Saturday, Anita Wardell and Ingrid James from Australia.
Oh wow,
But
that's
Saturday, actually, do you know Miro Sprague? Wonderful young jazz pianist, like, modern jazz, really good. Anyway, so he's going to be my special live guest on Saturday because he has a child and he couldn't really do the Monday through Tuesday thing. So we're going to do 12 to 1:30 on Saturday. And then next week is an interesting week. I'll just tell you the live people. Monday, Luther Hughes, who's a jazz bass player of long time, playing with people like Sarah Vaughan and Mel Torme and that kind of thing. And then a drummer named Michael Barsamanto, who is an LA guy who's wonderful, very wonderful to talk to. And Wednesday, Vince Mendoza.
Oh, nice. That's a good one, Cathy.
Yeah, great pianist, composer, arranger. He was, if you had heard Joni Mitchell's orchestra record, in, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 15 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that, with Both Sides Now and Case of You and some standards. That was Vince Mendoza arranging. Yeah, really beautiful. So that's it.
Yay, Cathy.
Love
This
you.
was so fun. I love you too. I'll see you soon in the flesh.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.